Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat Adonai. Welcome to the Sixth Exodus program. Thank you for listening. The name of this segment is Keeping the Covenant, Our Traditions. I'd like to read to you the book of Exodus, chapter 12, the entire chapter. There will be comments in between reading and possibly comments after the reading. We'll see what comments we can get in between verse. Okay, if you have your Bibles, read along with me. Okay, let's begin reading. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, The 10th day of this month they shall take every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let them and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the soul. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall take it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it upon the two side posts in the upper post of the house, wherein they shall eat it. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a moment. Um, I very much, personally, I very much want to do this. I very much. But not the blood part, because when we go to the land of our ancestors, um, we're not going to kill any animals unless the Lord say so, and put blood on the doorpost. However, for remembrance of our ancestors, I would like to have like red paper, um, and we'll decide later what kind of paper it will be. But on the paper, I like to put Exodus chapter 12 on it, and we'll put it on the side post and on the upper doorpost for 7 days while we roast lamb or goats. It'll be, I mean, it's just practically a cookout outside. And, you know, we love to have cookouts, so this right here is easy and it's nice. I think it'll be real nice, and it's a beautiful custom of our heritage and our people. Okay, let's continue to read. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread. Okay, unleavened bread is bread without yeast. It's just like pizza bread, or what we call pita bread or flat bread. It's the same thing. Okay, without yeast in it. Okay, and the good way to cook it is just like cooking a pizza. And if you cook it outside, then you cook it on it's like if you have a wok or a round type of or a frying pan, like a wok. You turn the wok upside down and you put the fire inside, and then you put the bread, spread the bread on top of it, because the bread is the wok is curvature. It has a curve on it, and so you just spread the bread on top of it and let the bread cook on top of it. Then take it off when it's cooked. It don't take long to cook. And I think the diameter of the bread should not be, or if it's like a 12-inch disc or 8-inch disc, I think we'll be making different types of bread like that in bread shops. They were probably making bread, so if anybody didn't want to cook, then they could have unleavened bread for those 7 days. And I think having this red paper across the doorpost and the upper post would be beautiful. Be nice to see every house with this paper on. I think it'll be beautiful, and it should be eaten with bitter herbs. Okay, as far as bitter herbs, lettuce is it's a bitter herb, and the most bitter herb I've ever had is lemons and bitter melon. I don't know if you ever had bitter melon before, but that thing is very bitter. So it'll be flatbread, lemons, or bitter melon, or lettuce. A combination with those with roast goat or lamb. Like you can be eating a lot of lamb chops. Okay, verse 9 it says, "Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire the head and the legs, and what is puritance thereof, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire." Okay, now it looks like we're gonna have to probably get families together and uh and do this thing. Don't look like one family. Um, maybe one family can do it. It depends on how large their families are. But I think once we get there and we separate the lands and put provinces and get everybody situated and get the post office straight and the addresses straight, I don't think we'll have a problem. Get our governors and mayors installed. It won't be no problem. Okay, continue with verse number 11. I'm sorry, verse 12. "And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It's the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the house where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial all ye and ye shall keep the feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away the leaven out of your house. Okay, leaven, that means bread that rises. It's mostly what Americans and what we eat today. Sandwich bread. It has a lot of holes in it. Okay, he says put that, if you have it, put it out of your house when you celebrate the Passover. Okay. Now let me say a few words here before we continue. You remember the the preparation day? I did a segment on this last month. Preparation day is the day before the Sabbath. Okay. It was also the day before the Passover. Okay, before the Lord was crucified. He was tried, and buried, and rose. He was on a cross. Well, not cross. I won't say cross, but he was hung. No, I won't say cross, because we don't know if it was a cross, but we know he hung on a tree. Okay, that's what the Gentiles say he was on the cross, but we don't know if he was on the cross. But we do know he was hung, just like a lot of our people were hung here in America. Okay, so verse 13, and the blood shall be to you a token upon the house where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you a memorial, and ye shall keep the feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away unleavened out of your houses. For whosoever eateth unleavened bread from the first day unto the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from the Israel. And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in the same self day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until 1 and 20th day of the month, at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, and whosoever eateth that which is leaven, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all of your inhabitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel, and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover And ye shall take a bush of hyssop, and dip it into the blood that is in a basin, and strike the lintels and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out the door of his house until morning. You hear that? That means stay inside as a memorial. This is a memorial. Okay, stay inside your house. Don't come outside. Once you put that on your door, for us, it will be. When we get there, we'll have the elders to look for us a paper. What kind of paper it be, and that we would put on our doorposts during this time. And when we find out the first of the month, the Lord will tell us, because He's going to give us a new covenant. He's going to tell us what to do, even concerning work. Because when we go back, there's going to be people. It's going to be in hospitals, people that's going to be flying there, airports. They're going to live in hotels. And the Lord know all these things, so He'll tell us what to do. Okay, let's continue. In verse number 23, and the Lord will pass through and smite the Egyptians. And when ye see the blood upon the lintels and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in into your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye shall come into the land which the Lord will give you, according as He has promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye this by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the house of the children of Israel in Egypt. And He smote the Egyptians, and delivered our houses. And the people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captives that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house, but there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up, and get you forth from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve the Lord, as ye have said. Also take your flock and your herd, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. And the people took their draught before it was leavened, and their kneading trough, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels and silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let into them such thing as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 and foot, that were men and women, besides children, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and the flocks and herd, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not carry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the host of the land went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night be much observed unto the Lord, and bringeth them out of the land of Egypt. This is the night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the observance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is brought of money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one's house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye bake a bone thereof. All of the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all the males be circumcised, and then let them come near and keep it. And ye shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto a stranger that sojourneth amongst you. Those did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Okay, we're going to stop there. Well, I want to say that before I I knew this and I read it many times, but and I seen the movie Ten Commandments. I don't know how many times. Maybe all close to a 500. It's in nearly 500. But it is more dear unto me now because I know my identity and I know who I am. And I would love to do this. Love, love to do this. And all the other feasts and festivals that we have, like our Purim. Purim. Purim is another holiday that we have. It's in the book of Esther. Okay, tells you how we should celebrate Purim. That means we're supposed to live in booths for 7 days. So I don't know. The Lord will have to tell us that one. But I'm sure that it'll come. We won't have no problem doing that. What if we do celebrate Purim? I think Purim would be like a a tailgate without a game. Everybody. I think that it can be in either space. I think it can be in an open space. Now, if we all come together, it can be in an open space like on a football field or a large land. And we live inside tents. We have to make them or booths. Tents, booth, it's about the same. You live in tents, and you have to you have to dress it up like with palm leaves. You have to put palm leaves on the top of it. The inside of it, you have to dress it up. But it has to look like a house, and so you have to live in it for 7 days. So you have to cook out, grill outside, and live out there inside. And so you can be grilling outside, and it's called the booth. The booth, the feast of booths, is called. It's also called Purim. Okay, um, that's another holiday that we have. We have we have another holiday called Tesseri. In fact, one of our prophets is going to be named Tesseri. And Tesseri is the celebration of Adam and Eve. Is also um, Tesseri is also is a day of our dependence on God. Is we acknowledge our dependence, not independence, but our dependence on God, and so we celebrate that. So those are holidays, and during Tesseri, we also have to march. Well, not march, but we have to walk in front of God. Like you go and walk in front of Him, just like cattle going through, walking in front of God, and He blesses us as we do that, and that happens once a year. And the last one I'm going to mention is the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is is a strange day, but it's a day our ancestors did. And the Day of Atonement is the day that a man afflict himself. God would tell us when these things, when He returns for us, He would tell us these things. But I'm kind of like giving you a little heads up as far as what our ancestors did. Okay, the Day of Atonement is the day of a man that he afflict his body. Okay, when he afflict his body, that means you 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 repent of your sins, and to afflict your body is that for this Day of Atonement, you don't take a shower or a bath during this time. It's a day that you afflict your body. No grooming, no grooming, like no cutting your hair, brushing your teeth, or anything like that. It's the day that the Lord will choose that you should afflict yourself, and you have to suffer. And my understanding is it means to like to stay humble and to practice contriteness. To be contrite is to be sorrow for your sins. It's a day of to be remorseful that you that the Lord choose the day for us to humble ourselves. So that's what the Day of Atonement means. It's really just to humble yourself, and it's a humble day. It's a humbling day because you're not supposed to take showers or anything like that. I don't remember how many days it is. And then there's the Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets is, I think that's going to be marvelous. It's when the bands come together and they play music and they have the blowing of trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets is also is called the Feast of Tabernacle. The Feast of Tabernacle and the blowing of trumpets is all instrumental, praising God and the blowing of trumpets. It's called the Feast of Tabernacle. That is going to be awesome. It's like all the bands. Right now today we have 107 black, historically black colleges. But I think in Israel they have that plus more. So I think they have like 205 or 225, 35, something like that. So we can definitely feel all those colleges that they got there, and so that's going to be something serious. All of those colleges playing together, or all of them just in one place, is going to be something serious on the Mount of God. That is going to be something else. Ooh, I ooh, that's going to be powerful. All the historical black colleges playing together in one place, whether they playing together or playing separate, it's going to be something. All the dancers, the musicians. Oh man, that's going to be powerful. Don't know how long that is. I think it's 7 days also. But the Lord will tell us when we do these things, because He said, "A new covenant I will give you," according to the book of Hebrews. Okay. All right. This is a segment of the doorpost. Now, I want to end this segment before I close it by saying that the paper that we put on the doorpost as a memorial and a remembrance and our ancestors what they did, and we'll get our leaders together and we'll figure out what kind of paper to use, or red paper symbolizing blood, to put it on the doorpost, and all of our houses will have that, the doorpost of every house, and we'll celebrate and put Exodus, Exodus 12, and and how the Lord passed over our ancestors. This would be a thing we would do every year. It's a part of our heritage, our customs, our courtesies, our people, and our morals, and what we would do. Okay, then the rest of our activities, I believe, we'll plan around the days that God will have for us. So the schedule or calendar that we will have, and then we can plan our events around that, as far as like sports, basketball, Feast of Tabernacle, um, the what you call March Madness, football season, basketball season, college sports. We'll plan around that, what the Lord give us first, and then we'll plan around with activities that we have, tennis, whatever we doing. We'll plan it around God's activities, because I believe we're going to be probably, well, I know people will come from around the world. We'll go to the mountain of God, and they will stay for a certain period of time. And I know we're going to have to facilitate their needs by housing them, whether they be rich or poor, especially the poor. And I think that that's going to be no problem either. I got some good ideas how to be able to take care of poor people and let them stay there, and how they be able to come there and stay in the mountain of God, uh, with the guest houses that we'll have. But those that can pay, they can go to a hotel, or they can go to some of the guest houses that we have, and bring their families also. We'll have people to take charge of that type of services, and that will minister to people that comes there because we're all ministers. When we go back to the land of our of ancestors, all of us are ministers. Every job would be a minister, and you would be a minister. I would be a minister. All of us would be ministers. Even the little children that grew up being ministers and serving God. This is how we're going to serve God for the rest of our lives, by serving God's people. Okay, so we've been servants for ever since we've been on the planet, so we're going to continue to be servants. Okay, so people that come there, we service them from the time they get on the plane, they get off the plane to get into their hotel rooms, to servicing them. Then they go to the mountain of God, or they go there for recreation, or to come to Israel for to shop, or go to a sporting event, football, basketball, or whatever sport they come to look at. Go to a tennis event, whatever. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's end this segment on keeping the Passover. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Until we meet again, Mitzvah.